behalf of Sergeant Major Callahan's retirement. We are doing this informally, so this won't be an official type of event, although we do want to recognize him for his career, for his 25 years of service. I think it speaks volumes, just the amount of people who travel to come here about Sergeant Major Callahan. I guess some people do really like Sergeant Major Callahan. He's got a crowd here. So, with that, before we begin, Captain Elliott, if you'd lead us in an invocation. Thanks, sir.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together in recognition and celebration of 25 plus years of dedicated service to state and nation by Sergeant Major Dan Callahan, who undoubtedly had tremendous support from his wife and kids. Lord, we ask that you be with them as they make this transition and begin a new chapter in their lives. Remind them and all of us that life truly is a journey and not a destination. Lord, bless the food we are about to receive. May it strengthen and nourish our bodies so we can go forth and do all that you would have us to do. In your Son's holy name we pray.
Amen. We do have a few things we're going to do today for Sergeant Major. Like I said, this is informal. Sergeant Major is not one for pomp and circumstance, but we do want to recognize him for a few things. And to start off, I just want to kind of read a brief summary of his career. And summarize his career, I guess. So I'm going to do that. So this is the rest of his career. Good job, Andy. Props. Sergeant Major Callahan has served with distinction for more than 25 years of service in both the United States Army and the Florida Army National Guard. Upon enlistment to the United States Army in September 1989 as an infantryman, he was assigned to Oconus to the 3rd Armored Division in Germany. He went on to serve in Operation Desert Storm as a Bradley gunner and proved his ability and expertise as a young soldier during engagement with Iraqi forces on the last night of the ground war and the subsequent capture of an attacked Iraqi mechanized artillery formation. For this, he was awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge and the Army Commendation Medal. While assigned to Fort Stewart, Georgia, after Desert Storm, he served in several key positions of responsibility and was soon recognized for his exceptional competence and leadership abilities as a team leader with early advancement to sergeant. He further distinguished himself by earning the Expert Infantryman's Badge, True Blue, which is a big deal for those EIB guys out there. First time goes all the way through. Upon his transfer to Fort Carson, Colorado, he was recognized for his unique ability to lead, train, plan, and motivate soldiers. He was actually even recognized by the Chief of Staff of the Army during this time, General Sullivan, who personally recognized Sergeant Callahan and Sergeant Callahan during the battalion STX. He was later recognized as battalion, brigade, and division levels. Before leaving Fort Carson, he was awarded 3 Army Achievement Medals, an Army Commendation Medal, as well as a Leadership Award by Lieutenant Commander. Just 5 years into his career, Sergeant Callahan was promoted and assigned to USREC as a recruiter with duties in Marietta, Florida. And I have to stop there. If you've ever been to Marietta, Florida, that should have been the end of the career right there. I've been to Marietta with Sergeant Major in negative ions. I was depressed for 4 weeks. He went on to earn the Gold Recruiting Badge and was selected to be Station Commander while serving as a non-career recruiter. He was even recognized by earning numerous top recruiting station and battalion awards. The pinnacle of Sergeant Major service in the regular Army was when he was assigned to the 1st Cav at Fort Hood, Texas. He was recognized by the 3rd Corps Command Sergeant Major for Best Sight as Sight NCOIC during the 3rd Corps EIB competition. During this period, he was also selected to compete in the Audie Murphy Award and won it at battalion, brigade, and division levels. He went on to serve as Brigade Operations NCO in the S3, 1st Cav until he got out of the Army in October of 2001. Following 12 years of honorable service, he immediately enlisted to the Florida Army National Guard. Shortly after, he was selected as Recruiting Retention NCO assigned to Tampa, Florida, which I'm sure was much better than Marietta. He was recognized for achieving over 400% of his assigned mission with 17 enlistments in just 1 quarter. And for those of you that are recruiters out there, you know 17 enlistments in 1 quarter. That's pretty incredible stuff. His integrity and work ethic were apparent, having achieved over 100 enlistments between 2002 and 2004. He was recognized with numerous monthly, quarterly, and annual recruiting awards to include College Recruiter of the Year in 2003. After excelling as a recruiter, he was selected to be the Tampa MEPS Guidance Counselor. While serving as a liaison between new recruits and the Army National Guard, he processed over 2,000 new soldiers into the Army National Guard. He effected significant improvements in the enlistment process, and his technical knowledge and competence were recognized with his selection as a state IDT manager in August of 2006. That brought him to St. Augustine. In April 2008, while serving in the Recruiting Retention Operations section, he was promoted to the rank of Master Sergeant. It was also during this time he developed the RSP program from the ground up. It really is something that Sergeant Major Callahan was responsible for the success of that program today. Through his direct initiatives and leadership, the Florida RSP program went from a national ranking of 52nd to 10th in less than 9 months. I'm not sure, who's your IT manager then?
I think he's out there.
Oh, just. As the RRB Sergeant Major, Operations Sergeant Major, his strong leadership skills were key during the first ever IG inspection in the recruiting battalion's history. He also took the lead and was a driving force in our RSP being awarded NGB level accreditation. Everything we do with RSP, I have to say these days, Sergeant Major, with a few other folks, but he had a huge hand in it, developed that. The accreditation process, everything, Sergeant Major took a big lead in that. In July 2011, Sergeant Major Callahan also played a significant role in the success of the EIB competition at Camp Landing, himself serving on the EIB committee. All whilst managing to complete Sergeant Major's Academy Phase 1 and 2 in just 13 months. In the last few years, he's also formed the battalion's first ever marksmanship team, and under his guidance and expertise, and much to the chagrin of other units, RRB has won 4 out of the last 5 tag marksmanship matches, and that's something he's taken as himself as well. There's a lot of things here that we can talk about with Sergeant Major that would be on an SVR or an award, but there's a lot about him that's more important. In the 6 years I've been lucky enough to work upstairs in the operations section closely with Sergeant Major, there's one constant that I notice with him, and every soldier that's around him notices it. If you go to Sergeant Major with a problem or a question, he's going to have an answer and a course of action. Sometimes that course of action is not exactly even what you agree with, but it's normally the right one. Sometimes there's a linen story that we'll tell one of the times. Almost ended my career over linen. But he always has the right answer. And that's something that's rare, his confidence, and he's humble with it. The only thing you have to deal with if you go get that answer is you have to walk into his office, and his only weakness is you're going to be exposed to really, really bad heavy metal from the early 80s. Sergeant Major is a big fan of music from that time, for a lot of references to dragons and swords and high-pitched voices. Bad music. It's really, really bad. So he is really a competent, and he's an expert. I mean, his competence and his expertise in things has always impressed me. A lot of people say soldier care, and sometimes that's like a catchphrase or just lip service. But with Sergeant Major Callahan, he cares. He empowers NCOs. That's probably the best thing to say. He empowers NCOs to work for him. If you're in his charge, he's going to empower you to lead, and you're going to grow. And in the 6 years I've worked for him, I've been very, very fortunate. If you're fortunate enough to work with Sergeant Major, anytime in your career you come in contact with him, there's a chance that you're probably going to become a better soldier or a more capable NCO, such as in my case, I became I grew a lot with Sergeant Major. But if you know him as a friend, you're most definitely going to become a better person, a better human being, because he is that guy. I'm very proud to call you a friend, Sergeant Major. You deserve all this today. This is a very, very big moment. And you've definitely become a mentor for a lot of soldiers out there. So on behalf of the ORB and the Florida National Guard, I want to thank you, Shira, the family, for 25 years of service and excellence to your country. Thank you, Sergeant Major. Thank you very much. With that said, and my change of radar is done, correct, Captain Martinez? My change of radar is complete. With that said, I also want to provide you guys with a little bit of background, some educational stuff about Sergeant Major Callahan you may not know. Some fun facts, if you will. I'm not sure where I got these pictures. It rhymes with Shira. Can you blow it up for me? Automation. Reboot. Just reboot, man. Live television, folks. Here's some fun facts about Sergeant Major Callahan you may not know. Go ahead to the first slide there for me. Sergeant Major is smooth around women. There's rarely a moment that Sergeant Major doesn't know what to say around a beautiful woman. As you can see there, I mean, as smooth as it gets. The guy is a master around the ladies. Go ahead for me. You give Sergeant Major an FM on a Saturday night in the barracks, and he's happy. I mean, Look at that. That bunk is covered in FMs. I'm not sure what's going on, Sergeant Major, but a bunk of FM. No one should be that happy, shirtless, and embarrassed. But he is. Go ahead, Wayne. Well, Sergeant Major is a sensitive guy. He puts on a very gruff image and a very hard exterior, but he's a big fan of animals. He's a dog lover, and he's rocking a very tiny tank top. Right after he was promoted to Sergeant Major, went home and raised it up. This is Sergeant Major, hours after becoming an E9 in the United States Army. With the little one there, I think she's taking a chomp out of his kidney. I'm not sure what they're doing there. He's a great communicator. Sergeant Major is a master communicator. Obviously, it's a very interesting story this guy's listening to here. And he's never one to share, like to hold back on a story. I'm sure he's telling about a Bradley fighting vehicle incident at Fort Hood in 1993. That guy was deeply entertained and terrorized by that time. Go ahead and take a slide for me. Yeah. The ladies love Sergeant Major, and he loves ladies. Is that it? I'm not sure you get hugged. There's like an MMA movement going on in the back, but go ahead and take a picture. He's a musician, Sergeant Major. We often would bring guitars in to the office or after duty hours on Thursday night back in our old box. And he would play while I stood and made horrible sounds, and he would just put up with it. But apparently he's in the band. I'm not sure if they know he's in the band still, but he is a good musician. He's a great guitar player. Yeah. Soft side of him. I don't know why you set yourself these pictures, Sergeant Major. Because there's like eons. I could do this for 2.5 hours. It's like, I don't know, it's like you set yourself up. Sergeant Major's a master of all things technical. You can Sergeant Major an electronic device or an Army, whether it's an Army device or a simple snap camera, he's going to figure it out. You can see there he's mastering that thing. Yeah, I don't know if I can say it there. For a brief time, Sergeant Major had an opportunity to, Gander Mountain was calling. They had a model clothing line they were looking to do. Sergeant Major sent some pictures in apparently. Go ahead. Again, I don't know why these pictures come to me. Wow, thank you. He's not afraid to dream, and he's not afraid to try new hairstyles. Yes. That's the consummate soldier the Sergeant Major is right there. Even off-duty hours at home, he's in a shocking state of readiness. That's a soldier ready to go right there. And this might be my favorite. Socks optional, romance isn't. Ladies man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Sergeant Major. Great stuff. Thank you, Sheriff.